Recently, yet another animated masterpiece has premiered on YouTube, this one by the title Lackadaisy. It's kind of a weird title now that I think about it. Lackadaisy is based on an award-winning webcomic of the same name. Now, I actually wanted to read through the whole comic before the pilot premiered, that way I could have some extra context, but I was a little distracted doing other very important things. The name Lackadaisy itself actually refers to the bar that the main characters work at, and the bar is suffering because the world is now in a post-prohibition era. I ain't no historian, but I'm pretty certain cat people didn't exist in the 1930s. I really like the style of this universe, and initially I was a bit worried they might not touch on some of the darker things about this era, but so far they've done a pretty okay job with it, so I'm not too worried anymore. I really like how the pilot actually felt like an episode of something and not just a bunch of characters walking around bumping into each other and introducing themselves. It begins right as the action starts, with a beautifully animated, beautifully written song on top of the Mississippi River. I actually get a really big kick out of this because I live by Mississippi and it's very unique to see my area being represented in one of these animated features. But I'm still not that excited because, like, unironically, the South is a terrible, just awful place to live. And I like how, in general, it tends to take itself a little more seriously. Like, I wouldn't really describe this as a series with a whole lot of shenanigans, which a lot of other things on YouTube tend to have a lot of shenanigans. But I don't want to give out just praise. I feel like the issue with having the entire episode be the main characters fending for their lives does kind of create a bit of, like, an issue. The whole time, the main trio are not only trying to survive the rival gangsters, but also protect the alcohol and make sure it isn't damaged in the firefight. And I feel like the issue with this conflict is that it does feel very impersonal. And by the end of the episode, it feels like we're only just scratching the surface of the main characters and the world they live in. I get that it's the pilot and all, but aside from, like, the opening scenes, there isn't really a whole lot of room to breathe. At one point, Freckles snaps and then briefly goes clinically deranged, which I think might be an allusion to what his character arc will be later in the series. But anyway, I'm pretty excited to see what's to come down the line, and I wonder how much it'll try to stick to the comic. Like, I don't know how accurate this is as of now. If you want to check out the pilot or the comic, I will link both in the description down below. But as of now, this has been Bradwurst, signing off. So I just asked Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Apparently the earliest instance of anthropomorphism was way back in Greek times, so yeah, I guess this was historically accurate. Everything, not a single thing inaccurate. Yep, the whole thing.